Hi, my name's Flossy Rocks, and this is Siren, my step van, my tiny home on wheels. Have you ever been walking in the forest and found something weird, bones, dead stuff, and thought, this could be amazing art? We're back at the van. I am going to be doing a tutorial on how to grow crystals on bones. I love this kind of science experiment. I'm gonna show you how to do just that today. It is freaking gorgeous in here today. I am so happy to be in the woods. And I'm excited. In today's episode of Flossy's Freedom Foraging and Forest Dwelling, we're here and we're going to be finding some cool things. Today we're finding bones because I have some amazing things that I want to create with these bones and then hopefully share with you guys. Bones are beautiful. They are a way of commemorating a life of an animal that lived, celebrating its existence, honoring its existence. If you haven't heard the saying, "What is remembered lives," this is the motto by which I take bones from the forest. And sometimes I give them an honorable ending that they may not have had otherwise, especially if the bones have been dumped in the forest by hunters. I feel super lucky to have access to woods like these. And I know that this is temporary. Development is ever increasing and encroaching, and sometimes logging takes away beautiful places like this. So yeah, we honor them and appreciate them while we have them. Today, some bags we're going to fill up with bones that I have been stashing here for the last year and a bit, I think, if not longer, because I wanted to make sure that nature itself did all the cleaning work, took care of the bones and all of the nutrients that came off it, returned back to the earth as much as it can. You know how happy I am to be out here in the sunshine with my bike. I have been waiting for absolutely days for this to happen. This is the kind of forest where people come and drop off bones and bits and pieces from their animals. And somebody has dropped off a pig's skull. Actually, they dropped off a whole lot of pig. So, I like to collect bones, but I don't like to take them until they've been sat in the forest, cleaned and respected and all of that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna move this skull somewhere else so that I can come back and grab it later. In about a few months' time, probably. So we move it somewhere else, so only I know where it is. Then I can come back and get it another time. Because it still stinks. And it's still pretty freaking gross. So only you and me will know where it is. Okay. This is my landmark. Would you better spot this? This is where I've stashed my bones to get cleaned. Let's go in here. they're still there. There they are. Okay. All right. We are gonna need to bleach those before we can do anything else with them, but they're so beautiful. Use a tooth. Beautiful. Need some serious cleaning. Alright. 3 skulls. 4 of them, 1 more to go. This is the 4th one. Hey, buddy. Come on. Get off. There we go. This one here is bigger. Right. Can join the other ones in this bag. Right. This bag has got my beverage in it and will be for all the other bones that I found. Let's go get them stashed somewhere else. Whew. I feel like a bit of a pirate scallywag. It's just kombucha. Bringing me fermented brew into the woods to gain treasure. Mwah. Treasure which hopefully I'm going to share with all of you guys. Small little bones. Right? Little bones. So we're going to put all of that in here. Bone. Bone. So I've collected these over a period of time. Like, isn't that just beautiful? This is a bone from a spine. And stashed them here so that they would. It's a big one. Cure in the forest. Okay. Do we have everything? Thank you for Tree for taking care of my bones. I think these are all deer, maybe possibly elk. Nearly forgot one. One of more of these beautiful ones. They're gorgeous. There we have it. 2 bags of bones. Blessings of the forest, because the forest is sacred. I feel very grateful to be able to come and bring you all here and experience the pleasure that I get when I'm here. Now, if you have the Merlin bird app, I'm going to stop talking for a second, see if you can hear the different birds, and get your phones out and play it, and see if your Merlin bird app will identify the sounds. Degreasing the natural oils that bones contain before painting, treating or growing crystals on them is an important step, both with soap, scrubbing and a hydrogen peroxide solution, no higher than 12%. Okay, we're back at the van and we have some water in this big thing and it is time to degrease the bones. So I have a big thing here of soap. I'm going to fill up this with soapy water, and then I put the bones in there. The step after that is to clean them with hydrogen peroxide, not bleach. Don't bleach your bones. It ruins and damages the calcium and makes them less strong. And we don't want our bones breaking after we make art with them. After this, I'm going to give them a really good scrub. Alright, there you go. Everything's bubbling away. You can see all the bones inside there. Getting clean! I will come back later and scrub them. You see that? There's lots of bones. And I am going to be doing a tutorial on how to crystallize things, to grow crystals on things. I'm going to grow crystals on bones and then turn them into artwork. I spent the day today thrifting to put some beautiful frames to put these in, and I found a bunch of pieces of embroidered work that other people have done in the past, and I was like, what a beautiful way to honor these people's past embroidery, to take it out of a thrift store. This is a lot of hard work, but some human has done, and then put a beautiful crystallized bone as a feature piece on top of it. Like, I'm so excited about this. Just a few, not a whole lot. And I've now re-cleaned and rinsed this, so this bucket is entirely clean. The next step is to try and lift some of the color in these so they all go beautiful, nice white with some hydrogen peroxide. Whatever you do, do not bleach bones. Okay, in order to get very nice white bones, we're going to use this hydrogen peroxide in this bucket. Apparently, and I have to double check about the percentage, but it's a 1:3 ratio. So 1 bottle of these, and then I'm going to fill this bottle up again 3 more times and put it in there. And then we should see how much it is. And I might need to like tip the bucket up like this so that I get enough to cover the bones I've got, because I've got a lot of bones. Alright, as I expected, not a whole lot of liquid, but let's take this anyway and put the most stained bones in here first. I really want this guy to come up whiter, so let's do this guy like this. I'm gonna soak it like that. And I was told if it starts fizzing, then you know it's doing its job. She be fizzing! Alright, what other bones do we want to clean up a little bit? See, these are all mostly good. Try that one. And I'll soak these for 24 hours probably. This one I'm a bit concerned about because I can't get all of it in. And I don't want it to be like half bleached white and half not. So maybe we just dunk it in there for a bit. And then take it out. But we'll leave this guy in here for 24 hours. Honestly, if it wasn't for this step van that I live in, I don't know if I would be doing this kind of thing. It gets me outside, it gets me into the forest, it gets me exploring new projects, arts, crafts. Van life has changed my life literally. Before I moved to Canada and moved into a van, I lived in a city. I spent lots of time inside or at city parks. Could you imagine me doing this at a city park? Maybe, but you can do it at a city park. Go for it, that's a great idea. The next step in the process of growing borax crystals is to get the water up to temperature. Just plain boiling water, and then once it's boiling, pouring in the borax and dissolving it. Borax has a solubility scale which increases at temperature. There you go. That's a big pile of bones right here. While we're waiting for the water to boil over here, I wanted to tell you a bit more about what I'm actually doing. You all may or may not have done science experiments in school as kids where you got to create or grow crystals from scratch, and you can grow crystals, natural, harmless crystals, in lots of different ways with different soluble minerals. Today we're using borax, and it has a solubility scale. If you heat borax up, it will dissolve in water, and when you cool the water down, borax will dissolve again and the crystals will disappear. So I'm going to put on screen the solubility scale, temperature to grams of borax, and then you can work out how many liters you need, or quarts or ounces, whatever measurement you happen to use. This will be displayed in grams and grams per liter on screen, so you can work out how much. So I am using 6 liters of water and 1.8 kilos of borax, and that will become fully dissolved at 80 degrees Celsius. 100 degrees Celsius is the boiling point, and so because my pot is so big, I'm going to try and get it to boil. I'm not sure it will, it's a lot of water. And then the trick is we're going to then try and suspend these bones partially, so like the water might come up to here, that they can be crystallized. I don't want the whole thing necessarily crystallized, because I want you still to be able to love and appreciate the bone itself. These are all bones that I've found in the forest on my wanderings. I will put you will have seen some of the footage of me wandering and picking all of these up as part of this video. And then the other part I did is I went to a whole bunch of thrift stores and picked up some beautiful old frames and some art, which I think is sad to get discarded. Yes, I know that people pass on and their handicrafts or the things that they've made need new homes, so I feel very excited to combine something new, something old, something precious, something past into a beautiful piece of art that will continue to live on forever. I'm going to color the water, which we haven't done yet, so that the crystals will be a beautiful bright color on the bones, which make a beautiful contrast. And then I'm going to put some other nature elements into these artwork pieces. I'm very excited to share them with you. So let's wait for the borax water to boil, and then we'll add the borax. But in the meantime, I've got to go get the wire to do and string all of these up. So let's go do that. If you've been here a while, you recognize this maybe from the video I did where we did fire cooking inspired by Francis Molman. I created a whole hanging thing and hung up a whole lot of vegetables on it. I'm going to reuse this wire to now string up my skulls, which is a great way of not creating any rubbish and reusing things. Awesome. Yeah, and it will sit suspended partially in the water. I think that's going to work beautifully. Sometimes things that come out of the forest don't look super beautiful, so dyeing, painting is going to make this thing look amazing. It hasn't all dissolved because as I've taken the lid off, the water temperature is no longer quite at 100 degrees. The 80 degrees is the temperature we want to get it at, and once I put the lid back on again, I'm hoping it will get back up to that. We can get rid of these lumps. Alright, let's put some food coloring in. And every instructional thing that I watched, it said add way more coloring than you think. So we're going to add as much as possible. Bring that back up to temperature. Yeah, very close. Quick before it cools down. There you go. Just below 100 as it drops. Great. Okay, so it means that I want to keep the lid on while the crystals are doing their initial form. And then what happens is we want to cool this liquid as slowly as possible, because the slower you cool it, the bigger the crystals form. So I'm going to put everything in here now, and hopefully we'll better get this lid back on again. Scullin first, this is the biggest. This looks so cool. Hopefully now the crystals will all form on us. You can kind of see this liquid here is kind of doing that. So I want to get it up to temperature first to get it as hot as possible, and then we're going to cool it down slowly. I love this kind of science experiment. I built out this step van in 2021 and 2022. You can go back and check out the videos there. Vanlife was my escape from the city and my way of enabling all my creative projects to come to life. My way of being nomadic, getting out into the wilderness, the islands, being a nomad, living on the road, having a remote digital job has really helped. I know I'm a super lucky creature to be able to do this and share it with you. This has been such an exciting project to do. I'm pretty sure it's almost up to temperature. So the next thing is I'm going to take the lid off and I'm going to slowly turn the temperature down on this pot so that we cool the liquid and the borax very slowly. Now it will take about 8 hours in total to completely crystallize, I believe. We're going to leave it at least that long. Maybe check in on it tomorrow morning. I'll show you. I'm going to leave it outside. It's still pretty warm, but as we turn the heat down, I'm hoping crystals will form. I'm so excited about this. I have been waiting for the opportune moment where I had the right daylight weather, no wind, could do it outside, haven't got work pressures and deadlines. So I'm gonna get started with that now. So first step, I'll take off the lid. I am really stoked that I dunked these things in the green dye first because the bones have absorbed the coloring. All of the bones and the crystals are going to get an enamel coat afterwards, so they will be sealed. The crystals will not be able to melt away. But now we're going to slowly cool this down. Yeah, every few minutes I'm just going to turn this down a bit. Having the lid off will help, and hopefully that'll mean that these things start growing crystals, green ones. I'm going to do so many more batches because I have a lot of bones. You've seen some of the places I've been recently collecting bones in the forest, and there's so many more out there. So if you love this kind of thing, I'll better make more. I like creating art. It's like an expression of creativity that appreciates both nature, chemistry, and colorful, vibrant self-expression. And I want to build into these art pieces a sense of it's okay to age, it's okay to be imperfect, it's okay that something broken can still be beautiful. this is the vibe that I want to have and something that I want to do. So you're combining a love of nature, an appreciation for the earth and the sacredness of the earth and the sacredness of bodies and life with this element of change as a constant and decay as a constant in a way that really celebrates it and make it beautiful.
Thanks so much always for making this also a possibility for me to share this with you. Your support is so appreciated.
See you back here in a few hours later.
I'm making these crystal bones in order to raise funds, because if you haven't been following along, you know that I'm ready to leave van life and move into cabin life, a remote off-grid cottage somewhere. And I'm saving for my deposit. My down payment for a house will be all made up of what I make off of YouTube. And the money, if I sell these bones, this artwork, these crystals to you, you're directly supporting my dreams and goals. And I deeply, deeply appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. Uh-oh. Oh no. Wow. It's so cool where the crystals are formed and where they haven't. Wow. That is so pretty. Hopefully I can blend out some of that. That is so cool. It's so strange where it decides to attach and where it doesn't. It's all attached there. And then this whole side was submerged and barely anything's formed on it. Huh. Well, meanwhile, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to get the wire out. That one's amazing. Look how crystallized it is. Wow. I could probably cut the wire out here. That is amazing. So pretty. Borax crystal making. Wow. Look at that. They're so green. Woohoo. Thanks so much for watching this part 1 video of Borax Crystal Bone Art. I can't wait to show you the second half of this video where I'm taking the van out, continuing the process, and also showing you the things that went wrong, the things that went right, and some more of the actual artwork. Now, these crystal artworks will be available on my website. Some of them are some online now, and some coming next week. So stick around because this is a 2-part video. Next week, we'll show you some more of the finished products, the different colors of crystal that I've experimented with, and the types of dyes that I found work best and what didn't work, and some things that have happened over time to the crystals, how to preserve them. They're very fragile. So subscribe, hit the like button, the notification bell. A huge thanks to my Patreons who have been continuing to receive the updates on this specific project for the last month, probably. I love you all, and I will see you back here on the channel next Monday. Bye!